we're doing our annual Christmas podcast. Why don't you tell them what we're going to make today?
We're going to make Buche de Noel, or Christmas Yule log.
Okay. So there are 3 parts to the Christmas Yule log. There's the cake, the whipped cream center, and then the ganache icing. We're going to start with the ganache icing. 1/4, 1 1/3, 1 1/2, and stop. So what ganache is it's usually equal parts of cream and chocolate by weight. So usually you would measure out 4 ounces of chocolate and 4 ounces of cream. But for this one, we're going to mess with the proportions a little bit to make it easier to spread. Okay? You could put butter in it, but I'm not going to, because I don't think I ever do. So we're going to put this into a saucepan and heat it up. As soon as it starts to boil, so you're going to pour your boiling cream on top of your chocolate. Want to hand me the plate, please? We're going to cover it with a plate and let it sit for a few minutes. Ailish, why don't you take the plate off, please? And it's going to look like a big bowl of milk with chocolate flecks. But she's going to start stirring it, and it's going to turn into magic ganache. Is it sticking to the bottom or something?
Feels like it.
Okay, so we don't have magic ganache. We have is inaccurately measured ingredients. So I was supposed to do 12 ounces, not 4 ounces, but I misread the recipe. And so to fix it, I've blitzed up 8 more ounces. And I didn't finally chop all the rest of the chocolate like this, but since we're running out of heat in that cream, I ran it through the Cuisinart. I'm going to stir this in and let it melt. And that looks a lot better consistency-wise, although it's a little chunky. So we're going to let that sit for a minute and we'll come back to it. Okay, so we're back at the ganache and it's melted now, and we're going to stir it together, and this is what I really wanted to see, the dark chocolate color and some smooth and shiny ganache. And then at this point in time we're going to add the flavoring. You can put any kind of cognac in it, or you could, really wanted to, you could add flavored liqueur like raspberry or hazelnut. We're actually using a Kirsch cherry brandy. Okay, so this calls for 2 tablespoons, just enough to flavor it and not get us all drunk. Stir that together, and then we're just going to let this sit and cool till it gets to the right consistency for frosting the cake. Okay, that looks right color, nice and shiny. We'll just put the lid back on and let that sit. While that's going, we're going to make the Yule log. So first we're going to preheat our oven to 350, I believe. 350 degrees. Yula's just going to take care of that. And then next, we're going to assemble all of our ingredients. But we have sugar, cocoa, cream of tartar, and eggs. This is a flourless cake, so we do not have any flour here today. We're going to separate the eggs. We're going to need egg yolks and egg whites to be assembled in different components. So I've separated most of them. Ailish is going to attempt to separate an egg without breaking the yolk. Has she done it? Ta-da! She's successful. Okay, so I used 7 eggs instead of 6, which is what the recipe calls for, because these are farm fresh eggs, which are not grated, and we have small eggs and big eggs. So I threw an extra egg in. Some of these were on the small side. Okay. All right. So we're going to melt our chocolate. Sorry, I'm off screen. Okay, that's almost melted. Give that a few more minutes, and that should be good. Okay, so we're gonna make our chocolate cake now, but I need to have the camera positioned over by the mixer because that's where all the action is happening. Okay, put your mixing bowl on your mixer, Ailish, please.
Okay.
And then dump the eggs and sugar together. Fantastic. Now you want to put the, not the whisk, but you want the beater bar. Perfect. And start it up slow so that it gets, oh wow. See how well it works when it's not plugged in? Just get it mixing a little bit there all together until it's all incorporated, and then raise the speed up so high so that it gets light and fluffy. It's going to take about 5 minutes. Okay, that looks pretty good. Notice the color has changed, lightened up quite nicely. Alright, don't take it out because we want to add the chocolate next. So leave it down, and we're going to drizzle the chocolate in. Or you can just dump the chocolate in and then we'll turn it on again if you feel better that way.
Get all the chocolate out of there. Come on, what is this? Wasting valuable ingredients like that.
No, it's hard to scrape.
Beat it to death. We've already done that. And we're going to take this bowl off and set it aside.
Where do you want?
And that, put it over here. Okay, so put your egg whites in here and your cream of tartar. Okay, lower the beater and start it the same way we did before. Go slow till it gets kind of foamy. A little bit higher than that. And then you raise the thing up, and what happens is that when you just twist this off, when you raise it up, it should soft peaks means it bends over.
Okay.
If it stands up straight, it's stiff peak. Okay?
Okay.
So now we're going to put it back on, and we're going to drizzle the rest of that sugar in. Try not to dump it into the center because it doesn't help the whisk. Now we want stiff peak. So crank it up. See where you're at. It doesn't hurt to stop and test it once in a while. Yeah. See, it's standing straight up, so that's stiff, okay?
Okay.
That was sloppy. Okay, so we've got our egg whites whipped up, and we've got our chocolate mixture, and we're going to need to combine the two, but we don't want to collapse all these lovely fluffy egg whites. So we're going to put some of this egg white mixture into the chocolate to lighten that up, okay? And you can use the spatula, you can also use a balloon whisk, which I kind of prefer. So we're going to take a swack of this, we're going to put it in here and just gently fold it, as we will later, because we're just trying to lighten this up a little bit. Okay, so that's lightened up the chocolate. You want to do this part? Sure. All in. Now go slow and gentle because we don't want to collapse all these. This is where you want to be really careful. Otherwise you'll end up with a pancake instead of a light fluffy cake. The chocolate's heavy, so it's way at the bottom. See when I turned it right there? You see that right down there? So that's way at the bottom, so we want to kind of fold it up and around. And get all that chocolate mixed up and around. Because otherwise when we pour it out into the cake pan, you're going to end up with a nice marbling effect, but we don't want that this time.
Okay.
We're going to dump this into our pan that we prepared earlier. Spread this out as evenly as possible. You don't have to be too particular because this is all going to get covered with whipped cream and rolled up. Okay? So now we're going to put it in our oven, which we preheated. On the lower third of the oven. It's gonna cook. Okay, our cake is done. I know this because when I push on it, it springs back. Okay, so if you would please dust it with the cocoa.
Okay.
Dusting action. Where did you learn that?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. You got most of it. Do you have any particular technique you like to use? No. Okay. Cover it with your damp towel, please.
Okay.
There you go. Sit and cool. Alright, so we're going to take this off. I'll lift it up and you pull out the cookie.
Okay.
There we go. Now we know the reason why you greased it. Hold off nicely. Okay.
Look at it too.
Okay, so the idea is spread the whipped cream over top of this, smooth it out, and then we're going to roll it up.
Okay.
Or several glomps around. Alright, get it all?
Is that good now?
Before you go whapping it all over the place, you've got the powdered sugar or powdered cocoa here, so when you lift it up, it's going to come up too. So what you want to do is just push down and move it around without lifting up.
Okay.
Okay? Like that. See, you just lift it up.
Sorry.
Go back, get it over the cream, push back. There you go. Now you're getting the hang of it. Alright. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because it gets rolled up. The main thing is that for the most part it's covered.
Okay. No.
And it's started out a little bit. Loosen it up. Push it in on itself. Kind of squish it down a little bit and start peeling back. And then roll a little bit more. And it's a really light, delicate cake. So you don't want to squish too hard on it, but you do want to try to keep it rolling here. Sticking.
Even though you greased it good, it's still sticking.
Yeah, we probably should have floured it too on top of that, but you don't have to. Might have helped a little bit. to cover it up and put it back in the refrigerator for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're ready to assemble and complete our, we've actually assembled our Yule log, but we're going to complete it now by putting it on the platter and icing it,
Okay.
and then putting the mushrooms on. So if you want to just slide that out there, and we'll just carefully loosen the bottom here. Looks good. Okay, now we got to roll it onto there. Try to get it down. There we go. Well, this is going to be our knot, and I like to cut it at an angle. Okay, you can take that and set it aside. And I'm going to position this a little bit better down there. We'll get a little dab of icing and put it where, kind of where you want the knot to go. And put the cut side up, and we've got our knot.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, you can see that the icing is not completely hard like a frost, or not like a frosting. It still kind of glazes over, but it spreads on nicely. So why don't you go ahead and do that, and be sure to do the knot.
Okay.
And up and down the sides of it too, around the corners. Before you get too crazy on that, I'm going to put some parchment around the sides so we can try to keep the tray pretty clean. Get a big glob on it when it gets to that end like that. Let it fall over the edge, drip down. Now you got something to work with. Okay, and so, you ready? Okay, so this is, I put this in a refrigerator and hardened it up a little bit, and then we can just take a fork and just bring it down here and give it a wood, and you can do a swirl across the top. Like that. Take away your parchment. Don't want to waste any of that lovely ganache. Now notice I'm not pulling it straight out. And the reason I'm not pulling it straight out is because it would probably take half the icing off. Do you want to get a damp paper towel to
Sure.
clean up that tray a little bit I'd missed? Okay, so just a little bit. Because you want the rest of the chocolate to still to shine through. Okay, and now we've got our meringue mushrooms. Now, traditionally you just put about 3 or 4. But meringue mushrooms are pretty popular in our family, so I think we're going to make this look like a mushroom log, kind that you grow your own mushrooms. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I've got 2 kinds of mushrooms. We've got ones with the chocolate gills under them. I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom there to help it stick, tiny little bit, and just poke it on your tree wherever you want it. Okay? So why don't you put the rest of them on? However many you want. Don't do too many.
Whoever said there was too many?
Just a tiny little bit is all you need. You could be creative and have them coming off the side of the log and turn them a little bit. Okay? Just going to take a little bit of cocoa powder, and we're just going to dust the very tops of the mushrooms. Just about like that. Okay? Alright, so there we have it, our Buche de Noel, or Yule log. And if you wanted to dress it up even more, you could get a sprig of holly and tuck it in there, and that would look very festive if you were going to take it to a party. We're going to refrigerate this for 1 more hour, and then we will slice it and eat it. So what do you think, Ailish?
I think it looks great, and I can't wait to eat it.
I remember one year you kids asked for this for your birthday, and since your birthday is in June, we, instead of doing all this, we wrapped it, well, we did all of this because they had to have the meringue mushrooms, but we also put strawberries inside on top of the whipped cream and made it a little bit more summery and not quite so Christmassy. So it's a versatile recipe. You could use it other times of the year besides Christmas, but it is a Christmas tradition in our house. So that's it for us.
Bye for now, and have a very Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Extra mushroom, please. Oh, I found it. This kind of mushroom.
What do you think about it?
How about
Good.
how about one more mushroom?